Yeah. So, but I forgot them all already. It's been a long time. But even I don't know the math part for that also. Cause, but I know those parts is so easy. No, it's easy, right?
No.
No? So calculate $50. Did you get it? Yeah, based on, not the calculator, based on the math equation. Now don't tell me you got it, but it might not be right. Right?
Did you write all that equations?
Did you write down the equation? Equation is just this. D1 R minus G. How much D1? D1 is 3. Yeah, this is the math. So it should be 50. 3 over 6%, $50. That's right.
Wow. Now that's not that bad.
That's not bad. I told you it's easy.
Okay.
That's okay, right? Yeah.
That other one. Just show me the equation.
Yeah, that part is not required. But if you continue your MBA study, and that will be required. Now I'm asking you, how much is the dividend yield is how much? And how much is the capital gain yield? Dividend yield equation is here. Capital gain yield is how much? 4%, right? Because it just equals to G. The stock price increase. Capital gain yield means stock price increase every year at rate of G every year. How much is dividend yield? You can use R minus G. This is the equation. Dividend yield should be D1 over P0. Yeah, oh, sorry.
D1 over PO.
Yeah, D1 over PO.
Okay. And what is capital yield?
G, capital gain yield.
Okay.
So you see, this is the equation. G, yeah. Or you use R minus dividend yield. R is total return. It has two components. One is dividend yield, one is the capital gain yield. It's just like your return is from the money, is from dividend, also from price increases. You can sell for more price. So you make money from dividend, from price increases.
So did you give us the dividend yield, or you want us to calculate it?
If you calculate it, D1 over P0, or this is the equation. 6%, yes.
Okay.
Because dividend is $3 over 50, so that's 6%. Yeah, for example, if you use a calculator, you don't need to know, for example, how much is required rate of return if it's not given. So if this is input, stock is 50, 3 is dividend, 4 is growth rate, and then you can click on the R here, so it will tell you this. But the equation for this one should be what? The equation so the equation for that should be here. R here. Here it is. So if the price is given, R is given, G is given, D1 is given, or D0 is given. So you use this equation to get the R, stock return. Okay, so really that's all. If it's asking you for future dividend, like D1 is given, D2 is just D1 increased by G. D3 is D2 increased by G. So that's all. So you see, that's all for this chapter. Yeah, let's do some exercise. Let's do these exercise, and that's all for today. And then equation is only one, dividend growth model. Even though it's non-constant dividend growth rate, it's growing faster and then slow down, but constant, and you can still figure out stock prices. Yeah, let's do the exercise number 1, and then we'll do number 2. Try not to use the calculator. Write down the equation. So any questions? It's pretty easy, right? But that just paid dividend. This is of last year. This is D0. So remember, this is D0 here. So if you use the calculator, so put it at D0 here. So it should be 1, 17, and 10. So you should get 15.71, right? But it has to be D0.
But I think the equation the way you did it is kind of different.
So see, this is the equation. So this should be the answer. 15.71.
Now, I did it, but I got, because you're DO.
Yeah.
You go to DO instead of.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I don't see the way that you did the equation on the board.
Yeah.
I don't see it done that way. Or maybe I'm just not.
The equation you use this one. This one.
Right?
This one.
Yep, that's what I'm using.
Yeah. See, D0 is 1, G is 10%, R is 17%, G is 10%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we couldn't use the one that was D1.
No, D1, if you use D1 equals to that. You have to calculate D1 first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't use 1 directly. 1 multiplied by 1 plus G.
Okay. Now I see.
Yeah. So,
Dividend yield, the dividend yield is R minus G.
yeah, R minus G, or you use D1 over P0.
So it can be R minus G.
Yeah. R minus G is dividend yield.
That's 7%.
7%, yeah.
Okay.
Or you use the equation here. Use the equation dividend yield is D1 over P0 or D0. This is the equation. It's just your dividend over price. So that's your dividend yield, or R minus G. R minus G. So that's it. And the next one. Yeah, so it's very easy to tell is that D1 or D0. If it said the company paid dividend, that's D0. If the company is going to pay or expecting to pay, and that's D1.
It says in the question, like they're going to pay the future next pay. Already happened or current year, same line item, so it's Steve, the same year, same what's it going to be next year? Next valuation. Yeah.
That's what they need to evaluate.
Okay.
Right, except we're not gonna have your return on this one, it's gonna be.
Okay, good thing. Right, but if it's a, like, next year, it's gonna be $2 dividends, then you would use P0 and P1.
It's at 8.3.
Perfect in the future. Yeah.
Dividend yield.
Yeah, so see, that's, the homework is the same thing. Let's try the second exercise, it's the same thing. Exam question, 10%, 7%.
No, that's for number one. What about number two?
Oh, I didn't do that.
Oh.
So see, just 3 multiplied by 1 plus 5% over, oh, it's wrong, I don't know. How much? It should be 3 over 3, 3 multiplied by 1 plus 5% over 90
Yeah.
and plus 5%. I don't know how much
Is
is.
the return 8.33%?
It's 3. It's D0. It's 3. Growth rate is 5%. Price is 30, right? We don't know this R.
D1 or D0?
D0.
That's still D0?
Yeah, D0. 390. Yeah. 90 and then how much you guys got? 8.5. 8.5.
So I better figure out the DO percent.
Yeah, how do we know that?
D1.
Determine if it's D.
Oh, because it says pays dividend, you just assume it's paid. It's not so clearly stated. Yeah.
So the D1
If you-
is gonna be?
If you have,
How do you know in the wording that that's that?
yeah, if it's a paid, I should say paid here, paid dividend. Yeah. So you receive it, that's paid, that's D0. You will get it, that's
So D1,
D1. Yeah.
okay.
But you have to change
So
here.
if that's 8.5%, your DY is 3.5?
D1, no, D1 is 3 multiplied by 1 plus 5%.
No, DY, the dividend yield.
Dividend yield is, yeah, 3.5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, capital gain yield is 8.5, yeah.
Can you write an equation like that so we can see it?
Now the capital gain is only 5.
Capital gain is, yeah, 5%. So the equation for this should be D0. So this is the equation, so it should be 3 plus 90 plus 5%. Yeah, so so actually that's all for today. So I also see over here, and I posted some website, some information how to do FinWiz and all these websites, and you can take a look how to pick stocks. And this is CAPM model, but we'll wait till next time to do that. This is summary. Like some people, students, undergrad students, their summary for how to pick the stocks may not work, but anyhow, that's it. So this is some useful website. How about let's watch a short video about the PEG ratio? We haven't done that, right? Let's watch a short video. It's like 7-8 minutes long, I think. Yeah, and then that's all.
Biggest trade community on all of Wall Street. I have that.
That's Stream of the Week, an overview of
10 minutes, sorry.
strategy aimed at helping you produce more profitable investment results. We're going to talk about PEG ratio versus the PE ratio and see what kind of a screen our top stock student, Kevin Matrix, can come up with for this topic. So this is interesting. It's been a while since you and I have talked about it. It's kind of like the smackdown valuation thing.
Maybe not a total smackdown,
No.
but it is comparison, and both of these valuation metrics are very important. I would probably say that these are two of the most popular valuation metrics, so I figured I would just do a side-by-side comparison.
Sounds good.
So let's start with some basics. I have some definitions. So first off, PE ratio. That is simply price divided by earnings, and essentially this tells you how much an investor is willing to pay for each unit of earnings. If the stock is trading at a PE ratio of 30, it's said to be trading at 30 times its annual earnings. In general, a lower PE ratio is considered to be better, and a common threshold that a value investor will typically use is a PE ratio of 20. Also, too, just for the record, at the time of this recording, the S&P's PE ratio using F1 estimates was at 1533. Okay. Now let's look at the PEG. PEG ratio is simply the PE ratio divided by the growth rate. Conventional wisdom says a value of 1 or less is considered good, which means it's at par or undervalued to its growth rate, while a value of greater than 1 in general is not as good, meaning it's overvalued to its growth rate. A lot of people believe that the PEG ratio tells a more complete story than the PE ratio because you're looking at another item, you're comparing it to its growth rate. And for that, I will agree. By the way, the PEG ratio for the S&P is right now coming in at 1.93.
So what you're saying is the PEG ratio then goes beyond the PE ratio?
Goes beyond the PE because you're able to kind of put it in a position in relationship to its growth rate, and a lot of people find that informative.
Okay.
But here's some examples on how you would use it in practicality, okay? So for example, a company with a PE ratio of 25 and a growth rate of 20% would have a PEG ratio of 1.25. So you take your 25 PE divided by your 20% growth rate, that's how you get your 1.25. A company with a PE ratio of 40 and a growth rate of 50% would have a PEG ratio of 0.8. So again, you take your 40 PE divided by your 50% growth rate, that's how you get your 0.80. Traditionally, an investor would look at the stock with the lower PE ratio and determine that to be the better value. However, when you're using the PEG ratio, I think you're going to come up with a different conclusion. So for example, if you see that last block of text, the stock with the PE ratio of 40 is really the better value because the PEG ratio is lower, which shows that it's trading at a discount to its growth rate. In other words, the PEG ratio, the lower the PEG ratio generally is considered to be the better thing because the investor would be paying less for each unit of earnings growth. So while it's true, in this example, you have one with a lower PE and one with a higher PE, when you compare it to the growth rate, the one with the higher PE actually is the better value because the PEG is lower, which means it's trading at a greater discount to its growth rate, and that, of course, is an important metric when you're buying stock.
Which one do you like better?
You know, I like them both, but you know, the PEG ratio, the PEG ratio I like a lot because again, you know, when you look at low PE, sometimes you have a PE ratio that is low because there's no real growth to speak of. So you definitely want to find companies that have a good growth rate, and then you just want to see, is this company trading at a premium to its growth or is it trading at a discount? Now, the PEG ratio for the S&P, you know, we just got done saying it's at 1.93. And usually people will look at a PEG ratio of 1 or less. You can actually go up to 1.93 and still have a better PEG ratio in comparison to the S&P. But I like both of them, but I would probably say I lean a little bit more to the PEG because I like the way it positions this valuation metric in relation to the growth rate. Plus, too, if you think about it, the PE ratio is still good. You couldn't even create a PEG ratio without the PE ratio. They both have their place, but you don't want to make a decision just based on one valuation metric. That's why I think the PEG is a little bit more, you know, inclusive, if you will.
All right. Having and said all that.
Yeah.
Set it up for us.
So here's a cool screen. So this screen uses both of those, and I use it in some interesting ways, in classic ways too. First off, the screen starts off with the Zacks rank of number 1, so you're already shooting fish in a barrel. These are companies that are the top-rated stocks by Zacks, so only the strong buys are going to get through. Then I want the projected one-year growth rate to be greater than the S&P. As I had said earlier, sometimes you get these companies with low PE ratios because they just have current growth rates. This is going to ensure that you're looking at companies with outsized growth rates in comparison to the market. And if you see here, the average growth rate using the F1 estimate for the S&P is currently at 7.94%. So any company with a growth rate above that number is going to be able to qualify, okay? Next, we have the PE ratio. I want the PE ratio to be less than or equals to 20. That is the classical way that people will look at PE, that 20 threshold. And I want the PE ratio to be less than the median for its industry. Since some industries have different types of, valuations that are considered to be standard, a typical value guy is going to want to see it hit on some of those absolute numbers, but then you're also going to want to make sure that you're buying the stock that has the lowest valuations, or at least better valuations than most of its peers. So that's why we put that one in there as well. I think that's a good way to use it. And we're doing the same thing with the PEG ratio. PEG ratio less than or equals to 1, classical valuation marker, and we want the PEG ratio to be less than or equals to the industry median. So you're looking at a valuation stock on, like I said, an absolute basis and on relative terms in relationship to its group of peers. And usually I like to apply all of my stuff to companies that are trading over $5 and that have 100,000 shares traded on a daily basis or more.
All right. So, what came through this particular screen?
There were, I believe, like maybe about 40, 45 companies that came through. As usual, there was a wide range of stocks representing a wide range of industries. These were some pretty cool picks, so let's look at a couple of them. You'll also see that I put the PE ratio and the PEG ratio next to it. So again, anybody looking for stocks that have good growth rates but also can qualify as a classic value stock, this would be it. So I've got Canadian Solar. You can see the PE is 1104 and the PEG ratio using F1. Some people will look at the PEG ratio using the projected 3 to 5 year growth rate, but a lot of companies won't give you a 3 to 5 year growth rate, rendering that PEG ratio obsolete. Might be get a bunch of NAs. I like using the F1. If you're using F1 on your PE, why not use it on your PEG? So you can see it's got a tiny PEG. And by the way, that's because Canadian Solar has a 3% growth rate. But then you got Methanex, Royal Caribbean, Sabra Health, and Trinity Industries. All of these were fantastic on both of those valuation metrics. And once again, because we said we want these stocks to have growth rates better than the market, not only are they giving you outsized growth rates in comparison to the broader market, but you're also looking at valuation metrics that are less than the broader market, as well as less than the median for the industry, which in my belief means they have the greatest amount of upside potential.
I'm still trying to get this image of you shooting fish in a barrel. I don't know.
It's a great sport.
It's tough to
Can't move.
Have you own any of these?
Yeah, I do have Sabra and Trinity.
Okay. Well, we thank you for stopping by and sharing. And if you want to see a text version of this week's screen, stop by and buy Zacks.com's homepage. Link to it right off the homepage if you're not already watching this video. And if you want to know more about the Research Wizard, that happens to be the tool that Kevin uses to achieve all of these screens, then Zacks.com/Research Wizard is the place to take a peek at. With Kevin Matrix and the Screen of the Week, I'm Terry Ruffalo.
Yeah, so you got some idea like how the professional pick stocks and how they think. Yeah. Anyhow, I'll stay here. So you guys want me to stay here and answer your questions? I'll be here like 26, but I can work with you person on person, yeah, one by one. Yeah, and that's how all you. Unless you guys want to learn, like I can show you more example of this one, but it's not required. No? Not interested? Huh? You want me to show you more examples? You guys want to do that? Well, it's up to you.
Some may not want to stay.
Yeah, if you want to stay, I'll show you more examples. Yeah, but Alex, right? Yes. Yeah, can you turn it off so we don't have to record it anymore? Yeah, a little bit.